Let's take a look at how this might manifest in your life. I'm going to share examples of 10 microaggressions, and as I do so, I invite you to take note and notice which of these that you've experienced. Number 1, demeaning remarks, stereotypes, or assumptions based on your race. An example is derogatory terms. Like, I don't know if you've ever been called this or heard this, but the N-word. Or maybe someone says something that's just offensive, that's an assumption that maybe has nothing to do with you. Like a colleague of mine said this, "You're a single mom, right?" She said this to a friend of mine, just assuming that because she was black, she was a single mom. Or this, "You're not like the others." And the others might mean anything from you're uneducated, you're low income, you're a criminal. So demeaning remarks. Have you ever experienced those? Number 2, acting surprised at the way that you speak, your education, or other talent. Have you ever heard this? "Wow, you speak so well, you're so articulate." And it's like, how am I supposed to speak? Or for me, I went to Harvard and I get the, "You went to Harvard?" As if somebody that looks like me couldn't have gone to Harvard. Or this, "You play violin?" And yes, I play violin, but why is it a surprise that I play violin? Has anyone ever acted surprised at the way you speak or any other talents that you have? Number 3, mistaking you for someone that looks nothing like you. Samuel L. Jackson was getting interviewed on the news, and the news anchor thought he was Lawrence Fishburne, and Samuel L. Jackson had to say, "I am not Lawrence Fishburne." And for me, I remember one Thanksgiving, speaking of Samuel L. Jackson, I was at a Thanksgiving dinner, a friend of a friend, and an older white man said to me, "Are you Samuel L. Jackson's daughter?" And I was like, "I don't look anything like Samuel L. Jackson's daughter." I don't even know how that came into his mind. Has that ever happened to you? Where somebody just called you the name of somebody else that looks nothing like you? Number 4, implying or asking that you represent the entire race. I remember when I was in elementary school and we'd get to the chapter on slavery, and suddenly everybody was looking at me like I was an expert on slavery, and I wasn't even alive at the time. It continued to happen in my work life when I was an adult, and colleagues would ask me, "What do black people think?" And I'm like, we are not a monolith. I can tell you what I personally think, but I can't tell you what all black people think. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been asked to represent the entire race as if we're all the same? Number 5, expressing doubt about your competence. In fact, this has often been coined a competency microaggression. I remember when I was in school, people would assume that I only got into the school because of affirmative action and that I wasn't otherwise qualified. And at work, I remember first week of work many times I've been asked this, "Are you the new diversity hire?" As if being black is the only reason that they hired me. But it's more than just getting admitted or getting hired. Even while on the job, getting extra questions like, "Are you sure that your work is right?" Or also just monitoring you a little bit more closely, wanting to see, are you going to make a mistake? Have you ever felt this at school or at work? Number 6, touching or making comments about your hair. Has that ever happened to you where you see a hand coming towards you and you're like dodging it? Like, wait, what are you doing? This is my personal space. And yet some people feel like it's okay to just touch your hair. Number 7, have you ever been called aggressive when other people are called assertive? This often happens in performance reviews, at work, and just because I'm black, suddenly I'm starting to feel like they're labeling me as an angry black woman when all I did was speak my opinion just as others did. Has that ever happened to you? Number 8, denying you opportunities. This could be opportunities for promotions at work, but this also could be about access to financing, for example, and mortgages. I don't know if you've ever tried to apply for a mortgage, but did you know that a study at UC Berkeley shows that both face-to-face lenders and online lenders tend to charge higher interest rates to African Americans and Latinos, and they end up profiting 11 to 17% higher profits to those populations because of those interest rates. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever been denied an opportunity because of what you look like? Number 9, ignoring you and not acknowledging your presence. This happens to me a lot whenever I'm at establishments like restaurants, hotels, airports. The people working there just ignore me and then they will serve the white person before me. Has that ever happened to you? Number 10, racial profiling. Have you ever noticed that you were at a store and suddenly you realized that you were being followed around as if they assume that you're stealing something? Or have you ever been stopped by the police for a standard traffic stop when you did nothing wrong? Racial profiling can be so challenging, and it just makes me so angry sometimes when people are treating me like I'm a criminal and I did nothing wrong. Has that ever happened to you? Take a moment and think about which of these 10 microaggressions you've experienced in your life. Because the tools that you're going to learn in this course are going to help you deal with the emotions that you experience when they happen.